too late. In China, being unmarried after 30 isn't just a status. It's a stigma. Welcome to the harsh reality of leftover women, where love has an expiration date. I am a 33-year-old leftover woman. I regret not getting married and having children when I was young, so that I have become an old leftover woman who is despised by others. I want to say, take advantage of your youth to meet a good person and start a family first. Don't wait. Everything may be too late, and you may not meet the person you want to marry. On Chinese social media, the label of leftover women is surfacing with increasing frequency. For unmarried women over 30, the pressure is mounting. They stand at a crossroads, speaking out more than ever, but often through a lens of anxiety, frustration, and self-doubt. One 33-year-old woman documented her 6th failed blind date. Since then, not a single matchmaker has reached out. I'm 33 years old this year. I've fallen to the point where no one cares about me. It feels like what netizens say when a girl reaches this age. You just have to endure it for a few years. Because since I finished my 6th blind date in March, I haven't received any blind date introductions from anyone, and no one has introduced me again. Many matchmakers will not worry about people of our age after being rejected many times. Because I calculated today, I'm only a few years away from 40. Maybe in a few years, I really can't have children, so girls will really be very anxious at this age. If you endure for a few years, you will really end up alone. A 32-year-old woman shared her deepest concern. Just a few years ago, she had options, handsome, wealthy suitors, even second-generation rich men. But now, all that remains are, in her words, ugly melons and jujubes. After the age of 30, it is getting harder and harder to find a partner. I am 32 years old this year, and I suddenly have a very bad premonition. I think I may never get married in this life. Am I really that bad? I don't think I am ugly. I think I am pretty good in this aspect. Why can't I sleep well when I find a partner? I was so depressed. I found that I was really worried now. I couldn't sleep. My family was urging me all day and night. I was really in a panic now, and it was getting worse every year. I don't know what men think nowadays. Do they really not like to find older leftover women? Even women who are attractive, well-educated, and have stable careers aren't exempt from the leftover stigma. Female teachers are among those hit hardest. No one wants female teachers from the 1980s to the 2000s. I really find it strange. Why are female teachers like us in Suzhou so unpopular now? I find that female teachers are really the hardest hit area in our blind date market now. How good are the female teachers here? There are female teachers from the 80s, 90s, and zeros, unmarried, divorced, kindergarten teachers, university teachers, etc. In fact, they are all pretty, elegant, and have stable jobs, decent appearances, and good grades. But I don't know why many boys reject a female teacher as soon as they hear that she is a female teacher. In Kunming, insiders say female teachers now dominate the blind date scene and still struggle to find matches. Female teachers now occupy half of the entire blind date market in Kunming. And if you go on a blind date with a man with better conditions, 6 out of 10 are female teachers. And the requirements of female teachers are basically the same, with no difference. I hope the man has a house and a car, a regular work unit, and it can't be too ordinary. But men with these conditions don't want to find a female teacher. This is quite interesting. People in our industry know that teachers in public schools are basically career-based, with stable income, 5 social insurances, and 1 housing fund, and other supplementary materials. You won't find any of these. And there are winter and summer vacations. Banks like people who go to banks to do business. With such a good profession, how can it be so difficult to find a partner? Online, netizens have begun analyzing why this disconnect persists. Many point to 4 major reasons. 1. Emotional value is prioritized. Some women constantly test men to prove their love. 2. Claiming independence. Yet many lack financial stability and expect men to pay for everything. 3. Material demands disguised as emotional needs. They say, "I want your attitude, not money." but still walk away if the man lacks assets. 4. Unrealistic standards. Low income, bad temper, yet expect wealthy, patient men, and blame men for not measuring up. From a demographic perspective, the worsening issue of population aging has deepened divisions in the dating landscape. Younger individuals have a broader selection thanks to modern social platforms, while older singles face fiercer competition. Age and appearance remain sensitive metrics in the eyes of many, regardless of a woman's actual achievements or personal strengths. Dating professionals say many women fail to clarify their goals early on. Instead, they construct lengthy, rigid checklists, setting unrealistic thresholds for partners. This hyper-rational, screening-heavy mindset often results in decision paralysis, and ultimately remaining single in a market where flexibility and clarity matter more than ever. In the end, reality doesn't wait. Standards don't build families. Choices do. Face the truth, adjust your expectations, and act before time quietly closes the door. She rejected his proposal 8 times. Now he's married to someone else, and she's pregnant, alone, and begging for compensation. What went wrong in this love story that spanned nearly a decade? Buckle up. This heartbreak hits harder than fiction. I'm not doing so well. I just can't understand. Why were my 760 days wasted while you only spent 160? She tried to laugh through the pain. My dear man, who loved me deeply, is getting married, and the bride isn't me. Tears streamed down the face of a 38-year-old woman as she sat before the camera, her voice trembling with grief. For 8 long years, her boyfriend had adored her, proposing 8 times, always with hope in his eyes. She turned him down each time, and then out of the blue came the devastating news. He was getting married, and fast. When asked why she had repeatedly rejected his proposals, her answer was unexpected. I never explicitly rejected him. I just didn't say yes. I wanted him to propose a 9th time because the number 9 means eternal in Chinese culture. But as the questions grew more pointed, she revealed the truth behind her hesitations. She had wanted more. At the time, he was just a university lecturer, too ordinary. His income from social media couldn't support the lifestyle I envisioned, let alone buy me the luxury villa I dreamed of, she said. I thought, if he became famous, I'd marry him without hesitation, but instead, he gave up. He didn't even talk to me before marrying someone else. How could I not be heartbroken? Her voice cracked under the weight of regret. He's about to become a father, but what about me? I'm left with nothing. She sobbed openly. All those years, like pages in his photo album. And now he's flying off with someone else, hand in hand. The woman, who refers to herself as a little fairy, had always dreamed of a grand, storybook wedding in a historic European cathedral. Her boyfriend, by all accounts, had loved her deeply. For 8 years, he remained devoted, proposing again and again, each time with roses and a heart full of hope. She remembered one proposal vividly. Let's get married in a church, then walk hand in hand through Longma Plaza, with doves dancing around us. And yet, she said no. She had been brutally honest with him. Your current income isn't enough for the life I envision. You need to work harder. After that final rejection, he disappeared. No messages, no goodbye, just silence. Then came the shock. He was getting married the very next day. Reeling from the news, she couldn't make sense of it. I'm such a catch. Why would he choose someone else? Driven by desperation, she raced to the university where he taught, demanding answers. What he told her stunned everyone. I can't wait any longer. We've been together for 8 years, but you've always hesitated. I can't continue in a relationship that's going nowhere. She collapsed in tears. I'm over 2 months pregnant, she shouted, pulling out hospital records, but he wasn't buying it. We haven't seen each other in 6 months. Pregnant? That's a lie. You're slandering me. You're trying to escape responsibility. You're full of nonsense. You're cursing yourself. The confrontation quickly spiraled into chaos. Reporters had to step in and escort her away, but the fire inside her hadn't cooled. The next day, she showed up at his wedding venue, furious, determined to confront the man she still loved. At the hotel, as she spotted him smiling and greeting guests, her rage erupted. His family rushed in to stop a scene from unfolding. "Get out of the way, liar!" she screamed. And then she watched, powerless, as he drove off with his new bride. Her heart shattered. She wandered alone to the riverside, grief and regret flooding every step. "If I could go back in time," she whispered, "I'd never let go of the man who truly loved me." But the clock wouldn't turn back. As one final plea, she asked reporters for justice, demanding compensation for the 8 years of youth she had given him. The man ultimately offered a reluctant apology and agreed to some form of compensation. But after that day, he vanished. The apology, the promise, both disappeared without a trace. So what can we take from this painful story? Don't measure love by bank accounts or big houses. Don't overlook the emotional devotion someone pours into you. Because sometimes hesitation becomes heartbreak, and when love is left waiting too long, it walks away. Cherish the love in front of you before it turns into regret you can never fix.
China's once booming property market is now showing alarming signs of distress. In Beijing, sprawling luxury villas, once symbols of the nation's rising elite, stand abandoned, overgrown, and unsold. As China's economy falters and the wealthy flee, these empty mansions are more than real estate. They are silent warnings of deeper instability in a system beginning to crack. With China's economy in decline, a growing number of wealthy individuals are accelerating their emigration, leaving many luxury villas in Beijing vacant. Prices for these high-end second-hand homes have nearly halved, yet they remain difficult to sell. This is Tongju district in Beijing, where a single-family villa has been abandoned for an extended period. The villa spans 459 square meters, featuring a southern entrance and a garden covering 2,664 square meters. Due to its age, the property is overrun with weeds both inside and out, while the yard is thick with overgrown trees. From this vantage point, the villa enjoys a prime location, just 5 kilometers from Tongju's central business district and 6 kilometers from the city's subcenter. It's also adjacent to the newly constructed 6th Ring Road underground transportation network. Despite the neglect, the main structure remains intact, with doors and windows still in place, ready for renovation and occupancy. Recently, a video shared by blogger Troubled Croquette captured the Vancouver Garden Villa community in Bikpegia, Changping district, a known enclave for Beijing's wealthy elite. The blogger explained that he was helping a friend search for a villa to rent nearby for office use. Constructed between 2002 and 2003, the Vancouver Garden Villa community consists mainly of single-family homes and townhouses. Single-family villas here typically sell for between 15 million and 25 million yuan, or even higher, while townhouses command prices over 10 million yuan. According to the blogger, before China's economic downturn, many affluent individuals lost confidence in the government and began transferring their assets abroad. As a result, numerous villas in this community now sit vacant. He also revealed that the real estate agent who showed him the properties mentioned, most owners hold foreign citizenship and overseas green cards. These owners are generally in their 50s and have already emigrated. Notice the size of this villa, tucked away in a dense forest. Can you see it? An iron plate is placed at the entrance, likely to block the fence and prevent unauthorized access. We'll respect the property and observe from outside. Because the villa is surrounded by earth slopes, we must stand at the highest point to capture the entire property. Even with a wide-angle lens, the villa is too large to fit in one frame. Zooming in, we see that with the leaves fallen for winter, the house is partially visible, though many trees still obscure the view. Changing our angle reveals the opposite side of the villa, equally large and imposing. Who lives here? Zooming in again, the windows display intricate designs, and the house appears to have numerous rooms. The front door is painted jet black, concealing the interior from view. With luxury homes deserted and their owners quietly relocating abroad, it's clear China's elite see the writing on the wall. What does their silent exodus say about the future of the Chinese economy and the growing fear inside the country's wealthiest circles? In the end, these empty villas may be more than relics of excess. They may be the clearest signal yet of a nation losing faith in itself. Amid mounting immigration pressures and economic uncertainty, Chinese authorities are tightening restrictions on citizens' ability to travel abroad. From increased scrutiny in passport applications to sweeping exit controls, what was once routine has now become a source of growing frustration for many across the country. In 2024, it's still hard for people in China to get a passport. Honestly, I'm furious. In so many places, officials abuse their small amounts of power to make life difficult for others. I'm just a student trying to apply for a passport. You know, a passport is like an ID card. It's a basic right for any citizen. But they refused to issue mine. They wanted a bank deposit certificate and proof of income. I mean, I don't have a job, but my parents can afford to send me abroad for travel. Why should that matter? Why can't I have a passport? It's just bullying. I went 3 or 4 times and still couldn't get one. If you face this, ask for the officer's badge number and call the Immigration Bureau at 12,367 to report them. At a time like this, with limited options for ordinary people, they're still putting up roadblocks. This is just plain harassment. In recent years, the Chinese Communist Party has tightened control over speech and personal movement. After Shanghai imposed exit restrictions, Xiamen followed with similar outbound inspection rules. Authorities appear increasingly alarmed by the rising number of citizens leaving. Passport restrictions are seen as part of a broader effort to curb emigration. Henley & Partners estimates that 15,200 wealthy Chinese, each with at least $1 million in assets, will leave China in 2024, a record high. Meanwhile, the economic slump and capital flight have left Beijing's luxury neighborhoods dotted with vacant, overgrown mansions. Social media account Speedy Talk posted on May 22 that many residents in Shanghai reported being suddenly barred from leaving the country. The post claims China is now conducting sweeping national security reviews for citizens planning to go abroad. The pilot rollout in Shanghai has sparked fear among the public. Online reactions have been sharp. Even going abroad now needs political vetting. The escape window is closing fast. Hi everyone, I'm Bo Yilang, and I'm about to leave for Vietnam. A friend and I had planned to go together, but his passport wasn't approved, even after I waited 7 days for him. Why? Because the destination he listed was Vietnam. When I applied for my passport a while ago, the rules were more relaxed. You didn't have to specify where you were going, but now, you do. So here's my advice. When applying for a passport, write down a friendly country like Iran, Pakistan, or Russia. You'll likely get approved. But if you list a Southeast Asian country, there's an 80 to 90% chance you'll be blocked. It'll be denied outright, and getting a passport will be much harder. Blogger Bo Yilan said he's had his passport for 8 or 9 years. Back then, the process was simple. Pay the fee and present a copy of your ID. But now, the requirements are far more complex. He said his friend's passport application was denied, and now Bo has to travel to Vietnam alone. He admitted feeling nervous and unsafe, especially given concerns about security in Southeast Asia. Are there any friends from Xinjiang? I want to ask, how did you manage to get a passport? I recently hosted a student from Xinjiang. When he tried to apply, they told him he needed an official university admission letter. I was stunned. A passport is supposed to be like an ID card. Every Chinese citizen should have the right to get one. Why is it being treated like a privilege? If you don't have an admission letter, they won't issue you a passport. Why did the officer ask me such personal questions? He asked me about my job. I told him I'm a live streamer. Then he asked if I had just graduated. I said yes, and that I was renting in Yeti. He questioned why I was streaming instead of getting a more normal job. Then he asked for my rental agreement, and even reviewed my chat logs. Isn't that an invasion of privacy? It felt like I was being violated. When I pressed my fingerprints, I don't think I did anything wrong, but he grabbed my hand and made me press again. I wasn't even allowed to check my phone while I waited for a message from a friend. He said, "Are you busy?" It was so intimidating. I didn't dare move. It was really scary. Today, many Chinese citizens say that traveling abroad has become far more difficult. Border procedures are more complex, with some travelers denied entry or even barred from leaving the country again for months. New security checks at border crossings are now routine. Whether you're leaving for tourism, business, or visiting family, immigration officers are reportedly asking detailed questions. In some cases, they even inspect phones, reviewing WeChat messages or personal data. If they find anything problematic, the traveler can be denied exit on the spot. Their airline ticket becomes worthless, and any visa issued is invalidated. Let's look at the places where it's hardest to get a passport. First, Fujian, Jiangsu, Xinjiang, and Tibet. Citizens from these regions often face high hurdles, needing extensive documentation to show they have a legitimate visa. Shijiazhuang Hubei, Heilongjiang Shangxi, and Jiangxi Y. Too many people from these places have left China and never returned, which makes it incredibly difficult for others to apply for passports later. As passport access tightens and outbound travel is quietly curtailed, a deeper question looms: is the CCP merely managing migration, or is it laying the groundwork for a broader system of internal containment? With wealth leaving the country and citizens facing mounting restrictions, the true purpose behind these policies is becoming harder to ignore.